Yo, so guys, and welcome to the third episode of 0 to a Million in 7 days on FIFA 20. And today we are going to be covering a relatively controversial trading method, and this is price fixing on FUTBIN. Now, there's a lot of controversy around price fixing because people think it's unethical. There's also been a little bit of scams in the back in the day, but luckily this is basically a different method to just straight up price fixing, and hopefully it should be good. Now, I actually back this as an extremely good method, but it does take a little bit of knowledge. You've got to kind of know what you're doing, and again, people would argue that it's unethical, but I don't think personally it is too unethical. So, the method of price fixing on FUTBIN, I'll give you a quick brief of it. Basically, what it is you're on FUTBIN, let's say a new SBCs come out, you're going to go and buy about 20 or 30 of one player. You're then going to go and make sure they're in the cheapest scenario in FUTBIN. And what's going to happen is everyone's going to go and use that scenario, and that player is going to go up and up and up and up. Now, this works especially good when there aren't many other players on the market. You'll bear with, because I'm a little bit ill at the moment. So, for example, let's say a rare bronze. Let's say there might only be 40, 50 of one rare bronze in the market, whereas there are hundreds and maybe even thousands of a rare gold. So what you're going to do is, let's say there's an SBC that comes out, it's like, okay, we want 75 rating, 3 rares, and 3 leagues. What you're going to do is you're going to go and buy, let's say you're going to go buy 20, 30 of a rare bronze player. You're then going to go onto FUTBIN, make sure that rare bronze player is in the cheapest scenario. So this is where it takes market knowledge. I'd say there's multiple ways how you can make sure you are building at the cheapest. One of the ways is going on FUTBIN and sorting via low to high and looking at like relatively high rated players and just basically making sure you're using no gold to really no more than 300-400 coins, so it makes it in the cheapest scenario. And what you need to do is you need to build one scenario. Once you build one, you need to keep building it. You need to keep building scenarios over and over again. Make sure they're different, but they've all got that one player you're trying to price fix. Let's say the rare bronze. What will happen is once your SBC makes it to the top of the list on FUTBIN, everyone's going to start doing it. Now, this is where people would say it's kind of controversial, is because basically what you're doing is you're taking advantage of people who don't really understand what's going on. Because what they don't understand is they'll go and build a team, and then they'll be like, okay, now I need to go and buy the rare bronze player that you put in. Oh, he's 7k. Just because he's so rare and so many people are trying to do the SBCs, and people will go and buy them because they're too lazy to go out and find, alternatives to those players or do the SBC another way. So basically what it's doing, it's taking advantage on how much people are relying on FUTBIN, and that they basically can't think for themselves. And that's why I don't really think it's that bad, because I think you're taking advantage of people being lazy, and in return, I think those people basically, aren't too bad at being taken advantage on, because they're just unaware. They need to basically, I guess, learn to be aware. But as I say, it's kind of controversial, but I back this method highly. So basically, what you're doing is, your bronze is not going to be 7k, and whilst it's in the cheapest scenario, it's going to rise and rise and rise. FUTBIN updates prices. Probably it goes anywhere from every 10 minutes to probably every hour of a player. So you've got 10 minutes until FUTBIN's like, actually, this bronze player, which one thing you got to make sure is that it's only 200 coins on FUTBIN. What it will do is, this bronze, which is now 7k, will now be updated on FUTBIN that it's 7k, and no one's going to build the SBC. Why? Because that SBC is not going to be the cheapest on FUTBIN, because it's now 7k more than it previously was. And what's going to happen is that player is going to drop and drop and drop and drop, because no one is buying that player. You might have a few people buy it because they might be halfway through the SBC, and then the price updates. But basically what this is you need to buy all the players, get them in the FUTBIN scenario. When it's really down to you. It's kind of a fighting with fire game, because the longer you wait, the more the player's rising. But the longer you wait, that price can be updated at any point, and they could drop and drop and drop. Honestly, if you're doing a player who's like 200 coins, you could probably take anywhere from 2 to 3k. You could even take 1.5k. And this is why it's such a good method, is because if I'm going and buying, is a bit maths going to work out, but if I'm going and buying, say, 20 bronzes for 200 coins, and then I'm going to go and sell those 20 bronzes for 3k, that's 60k, I think it's probably about 58, 57k profit. And that's just off price fix on one player, which honestly could probably take you about half an hour to do if you're good at building FUTBIN solutions. So that's why it's such a good method. Again, it's controversial that you're taking advantage. It's also controversial on the half that sometimes EA sees rare bronzes going for 2-3k and they're like, okay, well, this is someone transferring coins, and then they'll ban you. So there's also controversy around it that people get banned. I haven't had too many stories of it getting banned, but I can understand how it would end up happening. But yeah, so this is going to work extremely well at the beginning of FIFA because everyone's going to do the advanced SBCs, and a lot of these advanced SBCs are very open. They're very vague. You know, it's not like you need, A, B, and C. It's like you can use Z, G, and F. You can use absolutely anyone in these SBCs, and it just makes a prime example because, as I say, everyone's going to be doing advanced SBCs at the beginning of FIFA without a question because it's easy coins. Everyone likes packs at the beginning of FIFA. So what you're going to do is you're going to go and, again, buy a rare bronze. It could be a rare bronze, a non-rare bronze. Sorry, it could be a rare bronze, a non-rare silver, a rare silver, or a non-rare gold. They're kind of like the rarest qualities. Non-rare bronzes, flood on the market because it's a 400 coin bronze pack method. Rare golds, flood on the market because obviously everyone's opening up 7.5k packs. So again, that's rare bronzes, silver non-rares, and silver rares probably the best, and then you've got gold non-rares you can throw in as well, as they are the players you price fix. So again, you've got all the advanced SBCs at the beginning of the game, you've got all the basic tradable SBCs at the beginning of the game, and then of course you've got like random generic SBCs. Like I said earlier, let's say there's a puzzle SBC where it's 85 chemistry, 70 rating, and 3 leagues. You can very easily throw players in there. And again, if you can do it as soon as they drop it, so let's say marquee matchups are dropped and that's dropped at 6 PM and you can get your solution up at 10 past 6, you're going to have way more people doing your solution than if it's in 2 days time because the amount of people doing SBCs straight off the bat rather than waiting, obviously there's way more people doing it. So one thing that is big is, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but the less cards on the market, the easier they are to price fix. So I'd say the reason rare bronzes are good is because there's less on the market. But what you can do is you can easily do a bit of research. Because you can arguably price fix absolutely anybody, you can generally go and find a player that has like 30 on the market and just go and buy all of them, or go and buy like 20 of them and leave a few on the market. So that's one thing you can do, is you can do a little bit of research seeing how many on the market, because the less on the market, the faster they're going to rise. And let's say there were only 30 on the market and you bought 20. Now you have, I guess, a monopoly on the market, and once those 10 have been bought, all of the ones being listed are, give or take, going to be your cards. So you can basically go, okay, if I want 4k for them, boom, 4k. I can get 4k, I'll list one up for 5k. That's actually one way how I would list these, is I start off listing for 3k, but then if I can see I can get 4k for them, I'll start listing for 4k. So basically I'd go list one up for 3k, one up for 4k, one up for 5k. And then when that 3k one's sold, I'll probably list another for 3k. Once the 4k sold, I'll start then probably listing for 4k. When the 5k sells, and basically it's a good way of just seeing, I guess, cards being progressive, and you're not missing out on coins you could potentially get. So yeah, so looking at players where there's, again, 34 in the market is good. Probably, again, you want to leave anything with hundreds because there's not going to be hundreds of people doing the SBC that are going to make the player rise that much. Okay, so I was going to run through worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is that your player rises, they're in the FUTBIN, they're in the cheap solution, but after about 2-3 minutes the player is updated. What is going to happen? Two things. One, it's a really hard one because you can't really panic sell. For example, if no one's building the SBC and you throw 30 players up there for 500 coins, no one's really going to buy them. That is the problem, because no one's doing the SBC. So that is the problem with this, is you can be up creek without a paddle by the way of basically the player's been updated and then you're stuck with 30 rare bronzes. They're clogging up your transfer list, they're stopping you doing another SBC until EA updates their prices. So that's one problem with this, is if you start rash selling and panic selling, no, you're not going to have as many people buying and selling. Like, if you listed 30 at one time, there's not 30 people buying at one time, and as a result, the prices are going to go down, which means, again, it's really hard to panic sell these as such. So, it really is, on this method, a method on gauging where the window is. You'll work out the window on buying and selling. Again, you can progressively get better at this, but it's all about just selling before the prices get updated, which, again, is a bit of a guessing game. So that is going to wrap it up for the FUTBIN price fixing method. I'd say it's a little bit of a controversial one, but I honestly think there is so much money. As I said in the example, there would be 60k just in price fixing one player. And again, that player could go, the example there was 3k. They could be going for 7, 8k. You could do like 2, 3, 4, 5 of these in like a few hours. So there is insane money on these. It's just a little bit controversial because you're taking advantage of people who don't know better on FUTBIN, but then I think that's laziness, so I don't think it's that bad. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this method. Again, it's a little bit of a newer method. It's not like a classic 1, 2, 3 or a bronze pack method. It's definitely a method that's risen with the likes of FUTBIN rising. So thank you very much for watching the third episode of 0 to 1 million in 7 days. If you haven't already, do make sure to check out the rest. We've got BPM, we got the League SBCs, and we have a little intro on there. So do feel free to check them out. Any questions down below, any things you want to see down below. We also have a new series going to be rolling out, which is going to be called When to Buy FIFA 20, or When to Buy FIFA 20 Edition. And basically what I'm going to be doing is covering lots of different qualities of cards. So we're going to be covering like icons, Team Week 1s, one-to-watchers, scream cards. And basically talking about, okay, last year, when was the best time to buy all these cards? So basically it'll be a little bit of a guide. If you want to buy your starter team, I'll be like, okay, at this point, were they cheap? At this point, they rise, so just make sure to buy them before then. So that should be an exciting series coming out. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you guys in another video.